Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be talking about the importance of getting your camera out of the bag. Recently, I had the experience of being out here in the yard with the kids playing in the background on the swing and on the tree, and I had a choice to make. Would I keep my camera inside the house, in the bag, tucked away, or would I go inside, get that camera and take some photos? I'm glad that I got the camera, took some photos, because I've got some photos that I think have turned out really good. There's always reasons why you don't want to do that. It could just be that you don't want to make the effort. It could be you don't know how to control the camera. It could be that you don't fancy yourself as a photographer. But I'd encourage you, whatever your level of photography skills, to go get that camera, dust it off, get it charged, get it ready, and get ready to take it out of the bag the next time moments are happening around you. Sometimes I just wish I had a camera with me to capture the glistening eye or the laughter or the sheer enjoyment of children as they're playing and as they're interacting with the world around them. That's what this channel is all about. I'd like to share with you in this episode the photos that I took. But first, roll the intro. Okay, a bit more about the images. As I said, they were taking place here behind me. The kids were just playing and just enjoying themselves, and I did decide to get my camera out, and I'm glad that I did. Now, some things worked in my favor that afternoon. There was the sun going down. I'm not sure whether you can see it behind me, giving wonderful backlight to the images. It was golden hour, and I knew that would work in my favor, and I tried to work that into my images and make sure that I included that in the compositions. Aside from that, I definitely took lots of photos because whenever you're dealing with swings, I personally dealing with families all the time, moving swing is quite possibly the hardest thing for a camera's autofocus system to deal with, because it's needing to hunt forwards and backwards very quickly. So I took lots of photos. Not all of them worked out, but some of them did. And the ones that did and the ones that I've kept, I think are really solid and strong images. Let's have a look at the images I took now. Okay, here we are at the computer. The photos have been imported into Lightroom, and this is the beginning of the editing process that I took with these photos. One thing you'll notice is that there is a lot of photos. If you look down here, it says 487, and that means yes, I took 487 photos, probably in the space of 30 minutes out there in the yard that afternoon. And for some of you that may seem like an abundant amount of photographs. For others of you, maybe not, but you do need to be taking lots of photographs. That was one of the hints that I've hinted at already, is that if you just take lots, then you can just pick and choose, and you end up with those winners that you really want to be having. So the process that I would have been taking to get to the final photographs, I'm not going to go through every detail of it, but some of it with you, and I'll pick out one or two photos and we'll do them together. I would have first of all done my picking process, gone through one at a time and decided which ones I was going to keep and which ones I wasn't going to keep. I'm looking at a photograph with Eli at the moment, and here he is behind me. Don't know whether you can see him. He's coming into the room. God bless him. All right. This deserves, in a way, almost a video itself one day, because the more selective you can be with your picks, the less time you're wasting editing photos that just don't need to be edited. So I would have gone through And all of these 487, it takes a little bit of time, but in the end it's all worth it. And press P on the keyboard for a pick for the photos that I liked. Just have a quick scrub through, quick look, and I usually tend to pick the photos that are 100% in focus. If I'm not sure, I'll zoom in and have a look. That have the subject where I want it, have some interesting features to them, and find the best of the set. Okay, and press P for pick on these. I'm not going to do this whole process with you. What I would like to do is to step you through the editing process I would have taken for 2 of my images, so that you can get a bit of a feel for the process I took towards my final images. So if we dive in and have a look at this one together, let's develop it. I'll do some of the adjustments that I imagine I would have done the first time around. I may make this image better, maybe I'll make it worse. Let's go with the better, and see how it is that I went about producing my final images. I could punch these highlights backwards to make the image in a way, more perfect looking, reducing bits that are overexposed, but for the sake of character and interest and bringing out those highlights, the highlighted areas coming through with the wonderful backlight, I'm going to punch those up. Texture is your friend, and what this image really needs is to be warmed up. Because it is golden hour where I was shooting, and that just really enhances and makes this photo, adds that nice warmth glow to it, which indeed was what was happening at the time. So give things a bit of a play. If you're not sure how to use any of these sliders, I will provide some videos where I'll go through in detail what each slider is doing, but you can always just have a play. I know I definitely had a look in the profiles and made a decision about a profile that I felt happy with. Profiles are not filters like you might get on Instagram or something like this. They're how the software is interpreting the color information that it's given. So lots of these may end up looking really nice, so it's worth having a look. I chose Modern 6 when I did the original edit. I was looking just before, and Modern 8's nice too, so there's lots of good avenues you've got with images like this. So pick one of those. I might have a look in the hue, could push the yellow or the greens one way or the other and see which is going to look better, if any. When you do have lots of yellow and green tones in the image, this is your friend. I don't know what's best there, we'll try that one. Moving on down, it's always useful to do your camera corrections. In this case, it doesn't correct anything more than the vignette, which I'm going to add in now anyway, because I think the image deserves it. And that's sort of the process I would have taken. That's all the global adjustments that I would have done. I think I would have gone in and changed the skin here, which is just a bit over bright. Instead of a dodge, we'll do a burn, and just make that skin a bit more properly exposed, so it's not just blown out in whiteness. So we'll do that. How it was originally there was probably about right. We might add to that the legs as well, and possibly that arm, and then you've got an image that I'm quite happy with, and we go before and after, and you can see that's how it was. This is how it is. And that's the editing process I would have taken for that image. Okay, another one of the images that I like to edit with you is an image of my daughter Grace. And if I just go down to where that one is, it's another one of my original picks. And I'll give it a go editing it in no similar way to the first time. Doesn't really matter. Maybe I'll make it better. I'll do all the things that I would have done, I think, which would just be to increase the exposure for the subject a little bit. And definitely warm it up with that lovely afternoon sunlit sky. A bit of warmth makes this image shine. Just want to check the exposure again. And definitely in an image like this, we're wanting to bring down those highlights areas where the sun is as much as we can, because they make the image, it also ruins the image somewhat. So we'll do what we can to contain it. A bit of dehaze is often good in this scenario, but too much will be a bad thing. So I think I would have done edits like this. At some point I definitely would have checked out the different profiles that I had available to choose from, and the image itself I think is quite a strong image, so a lot of these are going to look good. I'm going to color it in different ways, so it depends what mood you're going for. I think I ended up choosing Modern 6, I was looking before, and Modern 8 looks nice, so I'm going to choose Modern 8 for this edit, and have a look at my saturation there in the mid-tones. Might even look at the hue with the yellow, which way do I want it to go. There's so many different permutations when you're editing, and that's what makes it fun. And so I'm sort of happy with that. If we do before and after, what you'll notice is I think an improved image. It's not revolutionary, but it just makes it look nice. Now there's one distracting feature here, and that's this lens flare on her shirt, and my preferred way of dealing with this would be to take it into Photoshop, so I'll do that now. Once you're in Photoshop, my recommendation is to try a content aware fill, go around the areas that need to be improved, and see if you can just do a content aware fill. I press the delete button, and by default that's the first thing that pops up, and it'll try to fill the inside areas what it imagines should be there with AI technology. So that is very useful, but for complicated things like this big lens flare, I'm not sure it's going to be able to do it. We'll give it our best shot and see what happens. If it doesn't, that's when I pick up the clone tool and do the rest. That's done a really terrific job of that, so that's made my life easy there. And might use the clone tool for this one, and just grab a portion of similar light and shapes and things here, and similar lights and shapes and things here, and all of a sudden we've sort of made those blemishes disappear. So I save that, and it goes back into Lightroom. So that's more or less how I edited those two images, I think, originally. At least that's the general process I would have followed, and I hope you enjoyed following along that process, because the editing process is important towards the journey towards the final image. That's how good images are made. They are edited. In the past, this is all done in the darkroom. Now we do it in packages like this software called Lightroom. It's part of the process of getting towards the final images, and I'd like to show you those final images now. So have a look at the images I took that day with my original edits, and tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you like them, just know that you can do these too. It's not beyond you, and the emphasis of my channel is I think you have a much greater chance of taking good quality family photos than any professional photographer out there. Once you get to know what you have to do, it's really easy, it's fun, and you should get into it too. So if you've liked any of the images from this episode and would like to learn more about how you can take photos like these with your family and your loved ones, and now's a good time for that, then please subscribe share this link with a friend, and I'll continue putting out videos that guide you through the process, the thinking behind the photos that I'm taking as I'm making, oh, what's my thing?